So as you know, everyone, e-learning, what is e-learning? Everyone know, even, the nursery kids also know what is online learning now. But it's something a little bit people are not aware, probably 1.5 year before. Even most of the teachers also might not be aware of how exactly these things happens. But this online learning is something, it's in the corporates, in the industries for more than 10 years. So personally, I have been doing online trainings for more than 10 years. So probably here, what the program, there are two objectives, as I discussed. But before that, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Sikandar Sheikh, certified in CCIE. So I'm a Cisco instructor, doing trainings on network technologies like Cisco. It's one of the vendor from Cisco. It's a networking hardware manufacturer. So we do trainings on that. Okay. So I have plenty of courses online where I record and sell. Even I have a YouTube channel. Of course, everyone have YouTube channel nowadays, but at the same time, it depends how much you are sharing the content on that matters. So probably some few links you can follow up. So let's come to the point. E-learning program, as you know, e-learning for this program is mainly focused for educators, mainly the teachers, lecturers, especially the teaching staff who has been working in schools, colleges, or any domain, even institutes, where I have my own training institution for delivering Cisco trainings. So probably what happened is, as you know, due to COVID, what happens, I don't need to explain. So already it's written over there. All the schools, colleges, institutions, everything is closed, the physical, and all are running. Obviously, I can say one thing, like, even though the schools are closed, the students did not stop from learning. And obviously the school management or whatever the college management, they did not stop from the people paying the fees or collecting the fees or generating the revenues, whatever you can say. So personally, as you know, my kids, even though I have to pay the entire fee just for the sake of continuing the academics. Of course, that's a different story. But at the end, what happened is the people in between, especially the teaching staff or whatever the staff you say, so they are the most impacted during this period. So what I have seen. So personally, Alhamdulillah, I don't have a much issue because I have been doing these things. Means the main platform is online. That's what we do mainly on. So we have been doing this for more than 5 years on my own institution. I have been working long for others as well. But you know this situation, so I don't want to explain that. You have been facing, you have been seeing those things. So coming to the objective, as you might be already aware of online trainings and other things. So again, here, my main objective is to share the knowledge and the information, how you can deliver the classes online more effectively. So that's what my point. So I'm not saying that you don't know how to deliver or you don't know anything. It's not like that. So basically my point is focusing on how you can deliver the classes online more effectively, because there are few preparations you have to do which makes you to deliver the classes more effectively. Okay, so that's my main point, what I'm going to do here. So here I'm just trying to show you there are few simple things you need to prepare so that you can prepare the things properly. So creating simple presentations, like here you can see I'm using a PowerPoint with a white screen, complete blank. You can add logo. Normally I add my company logo, but here I'm not adding it. And you can create some documentation. So probably in the initial, I'll be showing you how to create some simple presentations. Maybe already PowerPoint. If you know, that's okay. PowerPoint, MS Office. I'm not going to teach you all the things. So basically, I'm just going to show you some options which I use to create presentations. Okay, so how we can make simple presentations and what are the options we use? What are the things you need to consider while you are doing these things? So that's the thing. Apart from the documentation, like you'll be using Microsoft Word documentations. I'll show you some of my documentation samples, probably. there and I'll just show you some options. What are the options I use for documentation? Here I opened some of the documentations here. So this is one of my new workbook which I'm documenting. So because documentation, because whenever you are teaching, you also need to share some notes as well. So you can collect all the things here, like in the form of screenshots, headings, plenty of things you can add. Okay. So apart from that, screen drawing tools. Screen drawing tools is important. Normally when we do meetings, normally what happens is you see only two things. Most of the classes, most of the online meetings, it will be more of the video where you can see the instructor, you can see the students. But of course, that is a little bit interactive, that's fine. But what I feel is the more you have, the more you use writing, just like we use on the, like, you know, the basic tip, like I used to teach in schools as well, mathematics and other subjects. So the pointer where we use that chalk or whatever the marker, so that is kind of a point of concentration. That's what normally you know these things. So the more you move around, the more you write or the more you highlight these things. So that makes your presentation more effective. Because this may tells us, okay, I'm talking about this point and I'm talking about board, I'm talking about these things. So few things you write up. Okay, so those things, there are a couple of tools you can use, like Epic Pen, which I'm using, which requires a license, and the other one, which I earlier used, is Intugo. There are a couple of tools. There are free tools as well as you can get a license. So full features you can get with a license. I'll talk about that during the classes. The third thing, you need to know Zoom meeting control. Now, Zoom application is something everyone knows nowadays. Even the kids, they know how to join the meeting, but it's all about how to control the meeting. Like currently you can see no one can make a noise. I'm also recording the session. So which means my audio is, of course, I don't have any background noises around me. So basically the same recordings I'm going to upload on the YouTube. So the same thing, whatever the classes I take on my Zoom meeting, the same sessions I'm going to record, and they have a very good audio and the video quality features, even voice, automatic voice cancellation kind of features, which makes a recording more better than any other tools like Camtasia, the one which I used to use earlier for recordings. There is a Camtasia recorder, which is a kind of licensed software. You can also use some other tools, screen recording. If you go and search in Google, there are plenty of tools available. But personally, I don't use any of those tools. Zoom meeting is enough for that. With all the options, even there are plenty of options we have in that, which helps you to properly control. I'll be explaining those options. More than 50% you might be already aware. Just I'll share some few options and tips. Recording, as I said, recording, you can directly do it on the Zoom meeting, or you can also use Camtasia or other tools. I'll try to show you a couple of tools as well. If you want to record your classes, basically you also want to upload. You can either upload on the YouTube channel, or you can sell your courses online once you record. Those are revenue generation options. And you can share the videos via Google Drive, via Vimeo platform. There are a few secure platforms, or you can share via Google Drive. Even if you share via Google Drive, you can restrict, like who can access, who cannot access. There are a few restrictions you can add where you can make your courses secure. Let's say if you are selling your courses, that's something you can do. Even YouTube channel, I hope everyone having a Gmail account also have a YouTube account. Probably there are a few options in YouTube I'll explain you, like creating a YouTube channel or maintaining the YouTube channel or uploading the videos. And also there will be few editing options I'll also show you. Editing, so few basic editings, like in my editing, what I'll do is I'll add my introduction logo, and then you can cut your video into multiple classes, multiple parts. There are a few editing things which I do. I'll show you those options as well. So at the end, basically, whatever I've been using since a long time, I'm going to share you those options so that you can also start these things. Okay, so this is just a rough overview of technical things. what I will be covering. The second part is revenue generation, how you can generate revenue. On that, I'll quickly give an overview. But before that, I just wanted see if there are any questions. We'll quickly see any questions and then we'll continue that. So let me just quickly pause. Okay, so let's come to the second objective. In the second objective, as I said, the main thing, it's about the self-revenue generation options. So there are multiple self-revenue generation options where you can do online trainings. So once you are, let's say, you can start some online tuitions. Like if you are teaching a subject called Maths or any subject, you can get your own students and create a batch, and you can start delivering some online classes. That's something you can do. Of course, you have been doing that, might be, but probably I'll try to add some few things like where you can promote your courses, how you can promote some promotional activities. Probably I'll try to share that information like on Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, how we can do that more effectively. So from few marketing tips, I can say that's something you can do. Getting online trainings, online tuitions, or how you can do that. Apart from that, you can also record your classes, and you can also sell those courses online. You can upload them on your YouTube channel. Okay, so apart from uploading on the YouTube channel, you don't need to upload everything. Like I have more than 45 plus courses I have, which means roughly there are more than thousands of videos I recorded. If you take each video 15-20 minutes duration. But at the end, I still have around 400 to 500 videos online on my YouTube channel. So those will help you to build or connect the people with you. So either you can upload everything and you can generate, you have some options to generate revenue from YouTube as well. Probably in that there are two options. Again, I'll talk about that a little bit later. One is the YouTube ads, which is something not recommended, as you don't have control over the ads. So it doesn't come in the halal again. So Sharia point of view, Islamic point of view, that's something not advisable, not again recommended, even prohibited, I can say. One way. So other option, there is a membership options where you can get annual monthly payments from your subscribers, and you can add some videos, should be accessible only to those members. So that will generate a monthly revenue for you. So I'll talk about that as well. So I'm not getting in detail of everything, but I'm just giving you the overview of the things what we will be covering up. So how we can promote your courses online. See, simple thing. If you take a simple example, how I can promote. If you take one simple example, let's say if you're a Maths teacher, just an example, let's say. In Maths, again, how many grades you have? So it depends. If you are a high school teacher, basically, then you can teach the Maths probably from first class to 10th class easily. So which means there will be 10 classes, 10 standards you can add. Of course, if you add CBSE, if you can, it's up to you again. So let's say 10. And in each class, normally there will be 6 to 8 chapters. Like there will be number system, there will be addition, there will be subtraction. So each chapter can become one course. And roughly, if you take 10 means almost 80 courses you can add. So each course, and you can add some videos with explanation, and you can add some worksheets where they can print it out and practice with your logo, and where you can add some notes relating to that. So everything, of course, this is where you need a documentation required, the one which I talked about. Documentation required, and presentations are required where you're delivering the classes more effectively. So which means you can sell these courses online right now. Now there are multiple platforms you can sell, like the Udemy is one of the world's biggest platform. But again, depending upon which language you use, its reachability will vary. Like this is my profile on Udemy. So roughly around I have 180,000 students. But again, this subject is like common subject worldwide taught. Now again, you have to see. So even if you search with specific things, you'll find plenty of courses available online. There will be coding. If you are relating to English, you can also add the English courses. And there will be, if you're doing any institution or any college, basically you can add your own subject. So there are plenty. Now it's up to you to divide. So probably I'll share some options, like if you are using this Udemy platform, how you're going to do it, or some other platforms. Probably all the platform remains the same. You just need to figure out which platform is more suitable. Initially, that may not generate much revenue for you, but slowly after 1.5 year, people should get used to you, right? So initially you will be sharing some free promotions, free classes, like that. That's how you do. I'll talk about those things. So there are multiple options of self-revenue generation apart from your normal regular classes. I'm not saying you should leave your regular job. You can still do your regular job, as well as you can parallelly. This is something I suggest you to start up with. Okay. So these are some of the options. So finally, the last thing what I'll be discussing is the prerequisite things. What are the prerequisites? Of course, you need to have a good knowledge on subject. That's something I'm not going to teach you. So obviously, if you are in a teaching profession for more than 4 or 5 years, definitely you have in-depth subject. So the only thing you need to add is how you are going to present that online. So that's the only thing you need to learn. Few tips, few tricks you need to add. That's it. There's nothing much in that. So that's what the training is all about. I'm going to share a few tips, a few tricks which you can utilize to make your presentation more effective. Okay. So as I said, that's something. And of course, you need to have a computer knowledge and internet. Basically, computer is mandatory here. So you can say, what if I use mobile? Because this is something many people ask, okay, if I can use my mobile. See, the difference. See, mobile, whatever the advanced mobile you use, but still, the computer, laptop, these are 100 times better than that. So that softwares we use, the presentations you prepare, everything, it's more interactive, more effective. So basically, you see, it's really feel, when I see people, many teachers, especially my kids, when they learn, they send some videos recorded on YouTube, and as well as they record using the mobile phone and writing on a book using a pen. That's really unprofessional. And especially, I'm not talking about normal schools or government schools. I'm talking about the high schools, the best schools around, which says they are kind of the best in the market. These kind of things, it's really very bad. These things. So basically, you need to know the computer skills. Of course, if you know presentation skills, that's what I'll teach you. Even if you don't know MS Office, those things, that's okay. I'll cover few basic options as well. So basic computer knowledge and internet knowledge these are the prerequisite, mandatory. Any other language, whatever the language you want, you can deliver. It's up to you. Let's say you want to take classes in Hindi. It's okay. There are many audience in India, especially, many people, and they have millions of followers who teaches in Hindi. Okay. So Hindi, Urdu, it's the same thing almost. So, but again, when it comes to English, if you are teaching any college level subjects or any institution level subjects, obviously English makes a huge difference because the audience will be global around. Let's say if you are teaching computer skills, like I'm teaching networking, let's say, it's a kind of professional course where corporates required. So English is again the global reachability. Anyone, anywhere can actually use that. But you can use, if you're very good, comfortable with Hindi, you can use that, Hindi, Urdu, or Telugu. Of course, still you have an audience. You can build around that. Prerequisites, apart from that, you require a computer or laptop with at least anything around 4 GB RAM with i3 processor is something I recommend. Especially when you start do editing, there are a few editing things I'll show you. And also, if you are using these applications, make sure that it doesn't hang. Because if you're using very low-end processors, any older with less than 4 GB RAM, basically when you're in applications, your meetings will hang, your applications may hang around. So these things happens normally. So make sure that you have Anything above is recommended. 4 GB is something minimum I suggest. Of course, you need a high-speed broadband internet. So don't use mobile internet. You can connect to laptop. Of course, there are options. Because normally high-speed broadband connection, especially in Hyderabad, you can get it around 500 rupees per month. So around 10, 15 Mbps, I think. That's a package. A proper headset with mic. Proper headset is something important. And not only headset, you also need to know the settings. Because many people have a problem in the settings, in the computer settings. So make sure that you're using a proper audio device. Like here you can see when I go to settings, I should know which audio device I'm using here and what is my mic. So the mic I'm using this one, and the speakers, my headphones. So I'm using two different devices. Of course, I'm using the mic, which normally used for recordings. So that's the reason you might find my audio more clear. Digital writing pad, the one which I'm using from Wacom. So it will cost you somewhere around 5,000 and Amazon. I'll share the links later on. Probably this is something very much important. So you cannot write with a mouse, okay? So especially when you are teaching some subjects, you need a free screen writing is something very important. Whether you are writing on the screen or sometimes I use Paint. If I want to use, I'll use Paint where I'll write down here. So there's something required. Of course, you can use this. So writing pad, the digital writing pad, we call it as. Of course, you also need a USB hub. Now, USB hub is something also required because when you start connecting, because you'll be connecting a keyboard, mouse, writing pad, and maybe if you're using USB headset, then again, there is one more port you connect. So mostly if you're using a laptops or PCs, they don't have 4 ports. So you need, and also the ports will be on the back side. You have to search. So probably if you have this USB port, you can connect everything here. And like that, you can extend the USB connections. So these things are the prerequisite required for you to deliver, because like I said, presentations, editing, these kind of things, you need a computer, okay? So that's something initially you have to work on so that you can deliver more effectively, okay?